It is every Destiny content creator's dream to win a world's first. To wear the raid belt, that is the most prestigious accomplishment that anyone could ever have. There are various different content creators, streamers, YouTubers, and the like, and people that don't even create content at all that have won a world's first raid belt over the history of Destiny. And so I began to get curious. I wanted to know how well has everyone placed in the last 5 raid races. I wanted to look up all the different streamers, all the different content creators to get a feel of how well they might do this raid race, because I myself, I only really pay attention to myself. Sometimes I pay attention to a few others, like I'll pay attention to like Datto, you know, he obviously does really well in these raid races. So in today's video, we're going to be ranking the Destiny content creators based on their finishes in the last 5 raid races. And I'm going to try to keep it as objective as possible, just based on how they finished on the raid race. Whether they finished first or whether they finished 10,000 doesn't really matter, but we figured we'd bring up some of the biggest and most well-known content creators there are out there. So to start off, I'll just put myself on the map, only because I can give you a feel for the fairness I'm trying to be at with this, right? So first up, I have myself here. So I got my own little picture. The last raid in Root of Nightmares, I placed a whopping 1,060th. So yeah, I didn't even make it in the top 1,000, unfortunately. And then the raid before that, King's Fall, we did a lot better. Unfortunately, Ron, something fell apart there for us. It was tough. Or at least so many people finished it so fast that I think that's why we fell so low on that list. But we definitely did not do too hot, our team, Ron. But in King's Fall, we actually got 210th place, which was pretty cool. We were happy about that. I mean, top 100 is like good for, I think, anyone. We had that. For Valve Disciple, we got 36th place, which was an absolute show of a raid race on that one. And then we have Vogue, which got 79th place, and that's not too bad, I guess. Top 100 again. And then we have Deepstone Crypt, which is the 5th raid that we have from this point in time. Yep, the 5th raid right here was Vogue, or Deepstone Crypt rather, and we did 1,170th. That was our worst finish, I think, in a long time. And so, unfortunately for us, Deepstone Crypt, it was Atrax just absolutely destroyed us. We got smoke. So we're gonna put ourselves, if you take the average of the last 5 raids, the placement I have 1,060, 210, 36, 79, and 1,170. That equals 511 is my average. So we're gonna put me, I think we'll just put me in C tier at 511. Definitely not the most impressive day 1 raider ever, but you know, we've had a few good finishes in the day. And to be fair, I think that when you talk about old raid races, when there was no contest mode, it was very different versus when you think about modern raid races. Because our last finish was really bad, I might even put myself down in D tier because we finished outside of 1,000 in the last one. So, but in terms of a content creator tier list for the raid races, we'll see what else we got here. So next up, we're gonna bring up someone who has won multiple worlds first, so we can get a gauge. We've got a gauge for the middle now, like that's me. Now we're gonna put a gauge for who's at the top, and that's gonna be Saltagrepo, of course. This guy is a freaking beast. This guy got 57th in Root of Nightmares, which sounds really good, but to his standard, he's got world's first in King's Fall, Vow, and Vogue, and world's second in Deepstone Crypt, averaging himself out at 12. So there's a really good chance that this guy gets world's first in that one. Saltagrepo is a freaking legend, and the ability to finish really high placement or world's first. I mean, literally 3 world's first back to back to back. Next up on the content creator day 1 tier list, we've got Datto. Now this is a tough one. This is a real pickle here because Datto has, in the last raid, he finished 152nd, which is still really good, by the way. I know that obviously everyone wants him to finish world's first and he's going for world's first, but 152nd is not that bad, especially when you consider the quote-unquote best team finished 57th, which is Salt's team. And then in King's Fall, he got 9th, so top 10. In Vow, he got 2nd. In Vogue, he got 25. In Deepstone Crypt, he got 12. Very consistently in the top 100, in the top roughly 25, minus obviously the last one. So I think for this tier list, we're going to put him up here. He's like in between A and S, so we're going to put him in A for now. We'll put Datto on the tier list in the A for the day 1 rating. He's definitely up there. Will he get a world's first this time though with Crota? We'll see. All right, so we've got Datto, we've got Salt, we've got SWEATCICLE as well. This is someone who's very prestigious, has won many world's firsts in the past. Super good. His last 5 rankings, I was surprised to look at everyone's stats. I don't remember everyone's placement, but we had SWEATCICLE in Root of Nightmares finished 166, King's Fall 94, so top 100, Vow 139, which was actually pretty crazy, pretty messed up with those error codes. They probably would have finished a lot better. Vogue, they finished 12th, and Deepstone Crypt, they finished 33, and this is redeemed. So this is technically not just SWEATCICLE by himself, put maybe SWEATCICLE and Glad, and obviously their redeem team is like super stacked, super sweaty team. So wherever I put Sweat, we'll have to probably put Glad as well. Not sure where we put him right here. I feel like SWEATCICLE stands just as good a chance as Datto. The problem is that in the last few raid races, they've definitely fallen short in comparison, especially compared to Datto's. The last 3, Datto finished top 10 and SWEATCICLE's team finished outside. So we'll have to put them, we can't rank them quite as high as Datto this time. So we'll put SWEATCICLE there and we'll put his teammate Glad with him. Maybe they'll blow us out of the water here because they are OG Crota legends. So they might end up finishing way better than that, but we're just ranking them based on the last 5 raid race finishes. So to be fair, it's a statistical comparison, not a personal opinion, as much as possible at least. Then next up, we got GernaderJake is on this list. GernaderJake is a freaking PvP legend, but it might surprise you to see that GernaderJake has finished super high on this list, way higher than I thought. And Root of Nightmares, GernaderJake finished 234. It's pretty good, especially considering Datto, SWEATCICLE, Salt all finished around the same placement. Like GernaderJake finished literally as high as some of the best raiders out there. In King's Fall, it showed him as not having completed it in 24 hours, so I don't know if he just didn't do it. Vow, GernaderJake did 256, so pretty good, but definitely not as good as some of the better players, some of the constant raiders. And then Vogue, he finished 11th, which was crazy. That was almost a top 10 finish for him. And then Deepstone Crypt, he finished 106, so he actually finished really well in both of those. That makes GernaderJake's average come out to 152, which is lower than all of the ones that we've mentioned. And my average came out to 500, but so I got to put him above. Probably put GernaderJake somewhere in like B tier here. GernaderJake's definitely up there. For a person that plays all PvP, all trials all the time, he's actually extremely impressive that he does as well as he does. All right, so we're moving on to the next one. We've got Esoteric. Now, Esoteric is a previous world's first successful raider, just as SWEATCICLE and Glad are as well, and Saltagrepo already on the list. Esoteric has gotten a world's first. Esoteric's name is probably more difficult than anything out there. His name is literally Guardian, so you can't even figure out who's the right one, but we actually dug deep into the raid report database and figured out his placements in the last 5 raid races, and they're extremely good. This guy is the king of soloing content. He already has a world's first. I believe he got world's first Leviathan or Crown. I can't remember which one. It was one or the other. I think it was, I have to double check, but it was got world's first on one of those. He might even have 2 world's first. In Root of Nightmares, Esoteric, the solo Destiny legend, got 221. In King's Fall, Esoteric got 151, which is both really good placements, especially Ron was tough because a lot of people beat it really fast. In Vow, Esoteric got 89, in Vogue 177, and Deepstone Crypt, he fell really low for that one for some reason, like I did in my team. Maybe Atrax got to him, got 503. That makes his average 228. Since he does have several in the hundreds, he's probably down here. So I probably have to put myself lower as the key here. I'm gonna put myself down. I'm gonna put myself in D tier here. Not as sweaty as these guys. I'll put myself down here. Boom. I'm in D tier. Rip me. These guys are just too sweaty, too legendary. Moving on to the next one. We've got a lot of people up here. Again, we're just ranking them based on their last 5 day 1 clears, what their placement was. Not to roast anyone by any means. Let's go ahead and pull up. We've got Rick Kackis here. Rick Kackis is a legendary content creator, someone who's made some of the best, most well-known guides in Destiny. In Root of Nightmares, he finished a pretty impressive 253. King's Fall, he finished 737. Vow, he went 1,625. Maybe the error codes got to him. Vogue, he went to 374. And Deepstone Crypt, he went to 480, making his average 694. His average ended up being less than mine, but he did have a really good last finish in Ron, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to put him on the lower on the list. I feel bad. This is not to roast him in any way. It's just that was what the rankings came up to be. I swear. All right. We gotta go on to the next one. We've got Sir D, who makes some of the funniest content in Destiny. This guy's content is so well edited and is some of the best out there. You'd be surprised that he actually does these day 1 races. Do I have his dad in here? Oh, never mind. Oh no, we do have his dad in here. Sir D does the day 1 races. He probably does it for funny videos more than anything though. So he's not like a serious day 1 competitor. Let's be honest here. He's just trying to chill and make some funny content. He got 6,197 Ron. He didn't do King's Fall. He got 4,270 in Vow. Didn't do Vogue. Got 5,944 Deepstone Crypt. He's not really trying. Let's be honest. He's not really trying. You haven't heard of Sir Demetrius? You need to go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's legend. In terms of getting world's first in Crota's End, that's where we'll have to rank him the last 5 raid races, unfortunately. Moving on to the next one, you definitely need to subscribe to him. He's legendary. Then we've got AZTECROSS is here. Now, AZTECROSS is a very well-known content creator. He's got all kinds of good content. I don't even know how to describe his channel. It's like everything. And AZTECROSS in the last Root of Nightmares finished 1,017. 519. In King's Fall, finished 588. Vow, 440. Vogue, 293. Deepstone Crypt, 550. So that averages out to 578, which is a little bit lower than where I'm at. So I'll have to rank him technically lower than where my finishes were at and put him down here with the F tier, unfortunately. I should have created some more tiers. I feel like F tier is not it. Someone says, what about Clyde? Oh, we'll grab Clyde next then, since he asked. Okay. So we looked up Clyde. Clyde is a legend PvE content creator and a great guy overall. Clyde, we got, where's he at in the rankings? So Clyde finished 3,113 in Root of Nightmares. He finished 243 in King's Fall. He finished 291 in Vow of the Disciple. In Vogue, he was 1,644. In Deepstone Crypt, 1,819. So 3 finishes outside of the top 1,000, and his average came out to be 1,422. So he's down here a little bit. He's not trying to get worlds first. He's just having fun. He's probably just making content and chilling on the day 1 raid more than anything. It's a rough list here when you've got Saltagrepo to compete against. You know, take Saltagrepo out of this list and everyone goes up a rank, right? Saltagrepo's changed the parameters here. Did ZK make the list, or did we? ZK did a bunch of day 1 raids, actually. ZK is a super well-known PvP content creator. Probably the best PvP player out there, if I'm being honest. He's absolutely smoked me in trials many times. He did 559 in Root of Nightmares, which is pretty crazy. He did better than me, which I'm a little salty about. And then in King's Fall, he did 1,768. She did a little bit worse, significantly worse than that one, I guess. And then Vow and Vogue, he didn't do either of those. And then Deepstone Crypt, he did 1,008. So it's hard to average his out, but it does average pretty low, unfortunately. So ZK, PvP legend, is down here. He's just sweating it out in PvP. He's not trying to get worlds first, but he's having fun out there. Waiting for Fallout. Okay. Everyone's naming their different content creators. Thankfully, we focused on trying to get the most popular content creators, and Fallout is one of the most popular content creators. I don't know if he's necessarily trying to get world's first clears or just day 1 clears. It shows here the list. Fallout has 5 day 1 clears, so he has cleared every raid in the last 2.5 years day 1, which is still very impressive. His last one was 4,171, so in Root of Nightmares, not especially fast, but you know, still I think like 100,000 teams beat it, so top 5,000. For King's Fall, Fallout got 727. For Vow of the Disciple, he got 1,824. For Vogue, he got 771. And for Deepstone Crypt, he got 2,146. So that averages himself out to 1,298, which is on the much lower side of things. So he's probably just chilling in those raids. He's probably not really trying that hard. But in terms of potential to win a world's first in CRONUS, based on the last 5 raid races, this is content creators. That's where we're going right. Above, I didn't look up above. Datto has been in top since long. Yep. This is, this is just the most popular content creator. And then we're going to go with, we've got Gathalion was a hard one to rank because first off, Gathalion has a world's first. He got world's first King's Fall, and he hasn't been playing a ton of Destiny ever since. If we look up his last 5 raids, it was Root of Nightmares was 2,030. He didn't finish King's Fall in 24 hours. He didn't finish Vow in 2 hours, or in 24 hours, and he didn't finish Vogue in 24 hours. Deepstone Crypt, though, Gathalion literally finished 77. So he finished top 100 in Deepstone Crypt, which is just crazy. I feel like after Deepstone Crypt, he just stopped trying. He is actually really good. He already has a world's first. He already has multiple top 100 finishes. In his last 5 raid races, though, he hasn't placed as well. So we're going to put him down here. He's going to be down here with me, down here in the D tier rank. But he's got a world's first. Here's the thing. These guys who got world's first, they're not stressing it too much, right? We have Frostbolt here. Frostbolt made the list. A PvP legend who clearly doesn't do a lot of PvE. He got Root of Nightmares 1,017. Not bad. He got King's Fall 588, top 1,000. He got Vow 440, top 500. He got Vogue. He didn't finish that one in 24 hours. And then Deepstone Crypt, he finished in 1,008th place, 763. So a little bit lower than the average here. So we'll put him down here with the other PvP players. He ain't trying that hard probably. He probably just chilling, making some fun content more than anything for the day 1. We've got Moist Critical here. Now this is a tough one to rank because he's probably the most casual PvP player of them all. But he is a very well-known Destiny player because, you know, he's got a huge YouTube channel and stuff. Moist Critical, he did 3,482 in Root of Nightmares. And then before that, he never beat the raid. He had never beaten the raid. So we have to obviously put him down here with the rest of us, down here in the F tier. He had never beaten the raid 24 hours. He had tried before, but it's hard. It's not easy. Not easy. Some people think that finishing it 24 hours is easy. It's definitely not. We got Byf, the lore legend here. I don't know. His logo looks like it's in 10p resolution there. Byf, who is literally called Lore Daddy. His completions of the day 1 raids, surprisingly, he has 5 completions. So he is out there trying to beat this thing, which is impressive. He's beat the raid in the day 1 raid parameters in the last 5 races. Last one, Root of Nightmares, he got 7,335. King's Fall, 2,458. Vow, he got 1,361. Vogue, 1,216. And Deep Stone Crypt, 1,337. That gives him an average of 2,741. So not the sweatiest performance per se, but you know, he's out there, you know. I encourage everyone to try and beat that raid within that contest, because that is not easy. We're putting them down there. We got a lot of people down here in F tier. I swear, I'm not trying to roast all these people, I swear. That is going to complete our list so far of the most well-known content creators that I could find that have day 1 clears and their rankings, giving you some data and information on how well they've done in the last 5 raid races. We'll see how they do in Crota. Maybe they prove us wrong. Maybe they prove us right. Maybe they're just chilling out there. Who knows? But we'll have to bring you an updated list so that way we can see how well all of these gamers did. Maybe Datto gets his world's first. Maybe SWEATCICLE and Glad literally is a Crota legend. Maybe all of their aged experience helps them in this one and they perform super well, get a world's first or maybe top 10 finish. Who knows, maybe GernaderJake, the PvP legend, gets a world's first. That would be insane. That would be unbelievable if GernaderJake, the guy who has the most lighthouse carries, also gets a world's first. That'd be unreal. Esoteric, obviously the solo legend himself, already has a world's first. Him getting one would be crazy. I wouldn't be too surprised by that. There's zero chance that I'm getting one. It's not happening. Maybe Goth pulls one out. Maybe Goth does pretty well, places well. Kackis, Sir D, AZTECROSS, Clyde, ZK, Fallout, Frostbolt, Moist Critical, and Byf are all goats, all legends in their own right. It's not to roast any of them. It's just purely ranking them based on how well they placed in the last 5 raid races. A big thank you to my editorial team for crunching all these numbers and putting this stuff together, because, you know, it took some work and some research to look up everyone's gamer tag and to make sure that they all got on raid report exactly where they placed, so we could have a good average of how well they did and what they placed. So that's the tier list. We'll see what happens after Crota. We'll see if we're right. Let me give you the averages. So this is to end it. These are the averages of what they came out. So this is what you would assume they might place. Datto, his average is 40. You would assume he'd probably place around there for Crota. SWEATCICLE's average is 89, so you'd assume he'd get top 100. Saltagrepo's average came out to 12, so you assume he'd finish really high. AZTECROSS came out to 578. Rick Kackis came 694. Myself, I came out to 511. GernaderJake came out to 152. Fallout came out to 1,928. Gathalion was 1,054. Frostbolt ended up being 763. Frostbolt ended up being 763. I almost think like I should have raised his up, maybe potentially. His Frostbolts might be actually a little bit higher. I might put. No, because I guess I put Gathalion there because he previously got a world's first. Sir D's came out to 5,470. He's obviously just chilling. Then we got Esoteric was 228 was his average. Moist Critical was 3,482. He only finished the one time. ZK's was 3,335. Glad's was 89 as well, and Clyde's was 1,422. Those are just the averages. Those are just the numbers. That's how we crunch the data. There's a ton of content creators that didn't get included in this. I just chose to pick the ones that are the most well-known content creators, the ones with the biggest following, so that people understand who we're talking about. But there's definitely a ton of people that deserve to be on this list. There's a ton of people I know that raid race regularly, they don't make YouTube videos, they don't stream, and they stand a good chance of getting world's first or top 10 or top 100 and stuff like that. So just letting you know, that's why we created the list the way we did, and we chose who we chose based on just popularity, picking the most popular people that actually compete in this and actually do beat the raid in the first day, or I guess technically 48 hours now. So that's the list. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed, smash the like button, and click on the screen here to watch another video from the channel. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later.